Hello and welcome to the video. This is the first video in a short series about how I'm building out my mini Drak. This is the model from RiteWing, and this is something that I've been thinking about for a long time. But I saw a pilot called Chris doing some amazing flying with one of these and its bigger brother at an air show recently, and I'm afraid it pushed me over the edge. It is quite an expensive model, and it also comes in kit form, so there's an awful lot of building, and you're probably going to need to have a bit of patience and a bit of time to put this together. But having seen what Chris could do with it, it is a very capable aircraft and well worth it. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I've built this one out. Next video, we'll put the electronics in. And the third video, I'll probably do a video on installing the flight controller. At the moment, I think I'm going to install a micro vector. I've done a lot with iNav recently, so I think it's time I probably did a micro vector build. I love the vector that I looked at about a year ago. It's a great flight controller, and because of the way that I intend to fly this, the vector might be a better choice. Now I'm going to put a couple of links down in the description for much longer build videos. I'm going to try and keep this quite short and sweet and kind of consolidate all of the steps so that if you're interested in this, it'll give you a flavour of how you go about building it. But there are videos out there that are over an hour long and lots of build instruction videos on various forums too. So if you are considering getting one of these, it absolutely pays to read through all that stuff before you hit the order button. I ordered mine from a reseller here in the UK, so I need to order a big shout out for them. I did manage to find them. RiteWing doesn't have a really broad distribution network, so I'm pleased I managed to find one here in the UK to get one in to start this build. This is a cheap aircraft, and it also hasn't come with any electronics. I'm going to have to add those in the next couple of videos. But even so, this was still the best part of £160 just for the stuff that we're going to put together today. So for a lot of people, that will be an automatic turn off. But I also have things like the TBS Capaina wing and some of these bigger models. Although they're quite expensive, they are very capable. So let me take you through the steps of what I've done to put this thing together. So before I go through the build steps that I've used, do make sure that you have lots of space and do make sure that you have lots of time. It took me 2 or 3 days to build this, really because after each step I had to leave the goop glue to set up, and you need to give it a day for that before you start handling the pieces. I didn't want to accidentally undo some of my careful gluing work. You're going to need a couple of sharp knives. I'm using an X-Acto knife here with a brand new blade. I'd recommend you always use brand new knives for this, just so they're super sharp. You're going to need one of those craft knives with a retractable blade. That's going to be used to cut off the nubs that we'll do in this moment. You're going to need goop glue. You go through most of a tube with a build with this. A couple of lots of tape. I used blue painter's tape to mask off bits as I was spreading goop into the various channels to glue in the spars that reinforce everything. And I'm also using blender and tape as well. Having a Dremel with a cut-off wheel is going to be handy because you're also going to have to cut all the spars and other pieces to size as well. Also, having a metal ruler and also some sandpaper is going to be handy too. So the first thing I did was cut off the nubs from the foam. These are all underneath the wings and underneath the body as well. Take your time with this, make sure they're flat. I used a sawing motion and got them off pretty flat, but then a little go over with sandpaper got them completely flush with the model itself. Next thing you can do is glue the motor mount into place. You can do this at any point really, there's no mad rush, but you can do this while you're doing the wing part next. The motor mount slides into the back of the model. It's made of aluminium. Looks like they've changed the design from the early ones. There's an extra piece at the front and back. I'm guessing that's so you can get your center of gravity right. The problem is that you don't know where your center of gravity needs to be until you've got your electronics in. Luckily, it is completely adjustable, so you can put the motor and prop and stuff, you can hang it right out the back or have it right into the model to help balance everything up, which is a nice touch. To put it in there, you need to cut open the slots. They're not cut by default, there's just depressions showing you where they should be all around the bay for the motor support. Some people use a hacksaw to actually cut the foam rather than a knife, and that opens it up a little bit. Test fit that the motor mount is fine. Once you're happy that it's all going to line up perfectly, then cover the edges and the slots in goop glue and then push that home. Once it's home, then stick a loads of weights on it on a nice flat surface so that the goop can set up and make sure that that motor mount is nice and secure. While that's done, then the next job is to start thinking about how to cut the spars. Now there are two spars that come in the kit, a shorter one and a longer one. They look like solid pieces, but there's actually an outer sleeve with a reinforcing spar in the middle. Push the middle out, so you're just dealing with the sleeve, and test fit them into the recesses that are cut underneath the wing and also underneath the body as well. Use the Dremel to cut them off to the right length, and then use a lot of goop glue in each of those channels to seat them in properly. You want to make sure that they are absolutely pushed down to the bottom of each of the channels so that everything lines up when you've finished. I personally used the inner just to make sure that everything was pushed in there as well as it could be, and also to rotate the sleeves in the goop glue to completely coat them to make sure that they weren't going anywhere. Left all that for a day to go off, and the following day came back and then used a good coating of goop again on top of each of the spars and installed these covers. So this is 2 strips of foam that come as part of the kit. Again, you just pop them in. Once you've pushed them home, again, use enough goop glue to make sure that those spars are firmly embedded and the sides are caught. I also put some weight on these while they were going off just to make sure they were all fine. And once the goop had dried, I used exactly the same method as I used to cut off the nubs, using that same flat blade to just take them off as close as I could to the actual model, and again using a little bit of sandpaper just to get them completely flush. Now we've got that done, we can actually start putting the other reinforcing spars into the recesses that are actually moulded into the model. There are 8 spars of these thin fibre spars in total, and you need 4 for the wings, and you're going to need 4 for the main body. Each of them will do one side of the wing. So what you need to do is test fit it, make sure you can see exactly where it's going to sit. Each spar has a little bit left over, so there's another 3 or 4 inches. So I would make sure that you don't cut it exactly to the right length. I would actually cut it so that you have kind of an inch at the end of each spar. So again, you can rotate it into the goop as you do it. The way I installed them was I used blue painter's tape and masked up each side of the wing, top and bottom, and then put goop into the channel, laid in the cut spar, rotated it again so that it was completely covered in goop, and then once the goop had started to go off, gave it about 15-20 minutes, I then removed the blue painter's tape so that it was nice and neat. The big tip here is before you glue on the spars into the wing is just spend a bit of time making sure that they are absolutely straight. You don't want to be gluing the spars into the wing when it's bent, because then it's going to be almost impossible to get any warping of the wing out once you've put those pieces on. Mine were very slightly out, but I just used a little bit of gentle pressure to get them as flat as I possibly could, and then pop the spars on. Do that on both of the wings, again leaving that for a good day to set up completely, and then you should have 4 of the thinner spars left, and those go into the slots at the top and bottom of the main body section. The recommendation from this is that you actually use the X-Acto knife and you cut a channel into the foam so that the reinforcing spars actually sit below the foam itself rather than sit on top like we've just done with the wing. So take your time, cut a couple of channels, and then you can either use goop to do that. The way you can either do it is I coated the spar in goop and then inserted it into the slot and actually pushed it into the nose by about an inch, and then started pushing it into the slot using a lollipop stick so that it was nicely seated. The other way you can do it is actually put the spar in, and as you're going along, pop in CA glue over the top and use accelerator to set it up, and that would be a slightly faster way to do it. Once you've got them in, you'll find that there's probably 6 or 7 inches at the back that need to be cut off, and once you've done that, again, leave it to all set up overnight. Once that's done, that's the majority of the gluing stuff done, and most of the spars now should be sorted. And you have all of the sleeves installed in the main body and out in the wings, and you have the inner sleeves that you can push to the body that the wings are going to attach to. Next job then is to sort out the elevons. Now the pieces of wood that's supplied in the kit are not cut to size or shape. You can go on to the website, I'll put a link in the description, to download the template. So personally, I'd mark the top on each of them so that you don't get confused, and make sure you're cutting them the right way. You don't get any spare bits of wood. So if you accidentally cut them the wrong way around, then you're going to make a mess of it, because you need to make sure that it will have the maximum deflection up and down. Once you're happy, then you can use the very sharp knife again with the metal ruler and just cut through. If you just score through with the knife, because it's quite soft wood, it'll part quite easily and you'll find that you've got it all sorted. Once I made the first one, I just used the sandpaper just to take off the rough edges, and then used that one to be the template for the second one so that they were identical. Once they were both cut, I actually sanded them both together to make sure they were exactly the same. When I was happy, I covered them in tape and then attached them to the rear of the wings using a Blenderm hinge tape. So I put the length of tape along the edge of the elevon, offered it up to the back of the wing, put the other half of the Blenderm tape onto the top of the wing, then folded the elevon up completely, making sure it was touching the wing all the way along, and then put another piece of Blenderm tape along the hinge on the other side, just like I did with the Capyina 2. Once that's done, we're getting very close to the end. There are some extra bits that we need to glue on. We need to glue the ends of the wings. Once again, a good smear of goop. You can use pins to hold it in place or just put them vertically, and I popped a battery on the top just to make sure that they stayed still while the goop set up. And then the last couple of bits is to install the velcro on the bottom of the wings and body, because the idea is that you can pop the velcro off and the wings will slide off. However, for me, I'll probably, once it's built, not take it apart. Last thing to do then is install the little plastic spacers into the slots in the large vertical stabilizers, slide those over the spars either side the body, and then slide the wings home and then pop the velcro, and it's done. So it isn't particularly tricky, it just takes a bit of time. The majority of the time is just waiting for that goop glue to set up. So join me in the next video where we'll start to put the motor, ESC and servos in place and route those cables, and we'll also make a decision at that point on what flight controller and system we're going to install in this to fly and also for FPV2. If you found that video useful or like the content, then please hit the like and subscribe button down below. If you want to go the extra step, you can become a Patreon of the Painless 360 channel and help provide support for what I do here. All the videos created here are put into playlists, so if you're interested in a particular topic, have a look at the playlist, and they all are organised in there to make them easier to use. If you're not sure if there's a video for your particular problem or topic you want to know more about, then add Painless 360 to the Google search term that you're interested in, and that should find the video, article or content about the particular thing that you're interested in having a look at.